Retiring with $1 million? You should not spend more than $2,800 a month, says CNBC. And what I want to do is literally take this right here and go like this, and spray it down pretend this is well, never mind. I don't want to pretend anything. I don't know why this drives me so crazy, this stuff. I don't understand. All right. All right, so let's just, and I'll show you this article from was more a video from CNBC. It's basically based on experts. And look, Blanchett is, I'm sure he's a guy at Morningstar. I don't think he's at Morningstar anymore. Let's take a look who Blanchett. I love David Blanchett, Wade Pfau, big fan, and my man Michael Fink or Finky over at I think it's Texas Tech. I'm not sure he's still there either. But anyway, let's see who has written this article. Do we have a let's see here. The withdrawal, there are many caveats. I'm not sure. Anyway, Blanchett and do they have a caveat here? Let's just look for Blanchett. Blanchett. No, I guess he's not right for no, not Pfau either. Pinky. Nope. All right. So I'm not sure who wrote this article, but they've been doing this at Morningstar for a number of years now with Blanchett, Pfau, and Finke, PFF. All right, so let's just dive into this a little bit. And you can, I'm not going to show you the video because I'll get smoked, but you can, I mean, the assumption is the 4% rule is now the 3.3% rule. But it's weird because Wade Pfau had written, and maybe with Blanchett, about the 3.3% rule being a 2.8 or something like that because interest rates are so low. The whole premise of this is just wrong. It's just wrong. And Pfau, these guys know this. I mean, I'm not indicting. I love these guys. PFF, Pfau, Finke, or PFF. Who's the other? I guess no. Pfau, Finke, Blanchett, PFB. I can't remember. Oh, PFF is preferred stock ETF. Actually, I want to take a look. What is the PFF doing? I haven't looked at that for a while. Let's take a look. I'm a fan of preferred stocks. I got smoked by them. My clients did in 2008 when the banks went kaput. Right now, PFF is trading at 38.75. I don't see a yield. Let's just pause real quick. Here's PFF right now, trailing 12 months, 4.46 is the yield. They don't have a 30-day SEC yield because I imagine they probably pay on the quarter. Actually, let's just take a look at distributions here. All right, let's take a look here. They pay, it looks like they pay monthly. Yeah, I guess they do pay monthly. Huh. Wonder why they don't have a distribution yield on the 30-day SEC. Interesting. Maybe because December was too high. I don't know. Anyway, that's interesting. So the 12-month is reasonable. I got no qualm with that. All right, so that's look. There's December much higher in December than it was the previous months. December is always the biggest payout for most dividends and generally bond funds, generally speaking, as well. Anyway, so that's all right. So 4.46 is the SEC yield. If memory serves, PFF, the interest on there, the preferred dividends are taxed as preferential dividend treatment as well. So that's good. Let's take a look at charts here. I have no clue what this guy has done for a while. Is this where we go to performance? Oh, let's just go to charts. So we'll go down to, yeah, there we go. Sweet. All right, goes to 2000. Yeah, so we had a big sell-off right there. Went from 38 to 27. So if you bought there, you're buying some serious freaking high yields at that point because the price is so low. But again, to buy here, what does that mean? It means you have had cash on the side. This is what drives you crazy about people say, buy the dips. Buy the dips. With what? With what? How do you buy the dips? Well, I got cash on the side. Excuse me, got a frog in my throat. I get it, but most people don't. You shouldn't have cash on the side. I mean, if you're retirement, you should, but cash on the side isn't to buy the dips. Cash on the side is so you can have income coming in when the markets go down. If you're working, you should not have any cash on the side other than your emergency fund, and you shouldn't use that to buy the dips. Buy the dips, I've never understood. All right, so let's go back here. Right. So yeah, right here, man. Woo-wee, did I get smoked. Look at that. Preferred fell to 1492 when Columbus sailed the ocean blue from, just listen, got Judas Priest on my mind. Eat. Me Alive. Just listen to Defenders of the Faith. Remember that album from 1984? Yeah, so preferreds, the price was, where's the price? 50. So it was issued at 50 in 2007 or so, and it fell to freaking 14. Woo! That's a big one. So it fell from freaking, it fell $36 on 50. It fell 72%, man. I'll never forget that. I will never forget that. That was crazy. And the reason was simply because the banks were getting, I mean, they got locked down by, Hank Paulson and then Obama's guys. And, basically they were given $1. I mean, they could only pay dividends at a penny per share. Which allowed them to keep paying the preferred dividends, and yet, so while the price fell, you were still getting your preferred dividends. It just, if you held, you freaking did great, but you still got smoked in terms of price per share. It took a long time to get back to even. Now we're just kind of flat. I'm a huge fan of preferred stocks, man. I tell you, that was a once in a lifetime. I think, I don't know. All right, so let's go back to the article from CNBC. All right, so the problem with this is, I mean, we're just going to use $2,800 a month for simplicity. And what they're saying is that's 3.3% a year as opposed to 4% a year. All right, well, let's just use that. The problem with this, of course, is it assumes that your expenses go up each and every year with a retirement adjusted for inflation. And there's just no evidence of that at all. There is none whatsoever. None. So to use this as our proxy, it's just as stupid, man. But part two of this is, let's just say even that were to be true. Right? I mean, we're assuming so many things, 30 years of retirement, 60, 40, 50, 50 portfolio, that your expenses go up each and every year with a retirement. None of this is, we don't know any of this. The worst point about it is it assumes that if you're 80, you're still on a 4 or 3.3% distribution rate. Why? Why would you still take that when you're 80 years old? You only got 10 years left, man. All right, and even worse on top. Let's just say this is factual, that you're only going to get $2,800 a month. So we take $2,800 a month times 12. All right, now I hope you're with me here. So $2,800 a month times 12, and then that's $33,000 a year. And then we're going to assume that you're single and you get $2,500 a month for Social Security. $2,500 a month plus $2,800 a month equals $5,300 a year a month, which is $63,000 a year. $5,000 a month. Huh, interesting. $5,000 a month. Single person, $5,000 a month. I think you can get by on that. Unless you got, big fat expenses. Well, that's your problem then. If you got big fat expenses, you're not. But, with Social Security and even just $2,800 a month, you're probably going to be just fine. Part two of this is, again, if you're 55 years old and you're trying to retire, hey, why would you not ever work again? You might not. That's fine. I don't care. But again, you got to look at your expenses. And if you're spending $50,000 a year, let's just use that for an example. You're single, you're spending $50,000 a year, you're 55. You'll just use Social Security at 67. All right, we'll take Social Security at 67, which will give us $2,500 a month times 12. That's $30,000 a year. So at 67, we're going to need $20,000 a year from our portfolio. We got $1 million. All right, we're spending how much? We're going to assume no interest at all. We're not making any money, and we're spending $50,000 a year for the next 12 years. So we're going to spend $600,000. All right, so from now until 67, we're going to have $600,000 exhausted from our portfolio. All right, no, not adjusting for inflation, on any side, on interest, on growth, on expenditures, or on Social Security. So stop that. You didn't adjust for inflation. Or what about healthcare? We're assuming it's all encompassing. All right, so now we got 60,000. We got 400,000 left by the time we're 67. You with me? So we start at 55 with $1 million. We're spending $50,000 a year for 12 years. $50,000 a year for 12 years. All right. So 12 times 50 is $600,000 with no interest, no accumulation, no nothing. We're left with $400,000. Now we're 67 years old. We got $400,000 left. All right. Now we need $20,000 a year from that $400,000. Why? Because we're now going to make $2,500 a month or $30,000 a year from Social Security. All right. So we need $50,000 a year. 30,000 comes from Social Security. The other 20,000 has got to come from someplace. It's going to come from our portfolio that's only worth 400,000 because we got no growth. So we take 20,000, divide by 400, and that is a 5% distribution rate yield at 67 years old. Are you telling me you can't make 5% at 67? You only got 20 years left, man, at the most. Yeah, some of you will got more than that, but the vast majority won't. Give me a flipping break. That's spending 50,000 a year. You can do that without blinking an eye. All right. Love your thoughts. We'll see you.